Microphone go. All right. Hey, let's thank. There you go. Let's thank. Ta-da. Microphone go. All right. Hey, let's thank. There you go. Let's thank. Ta-da. Microphone go. All right. Hey, let's thank. There you go. Let's thank. Ta-da. Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
That's better. Oh, happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day to you too.
All right. We're going to have Lani in a minute, and we love Lani, but I must say something at the start of this. We have public health orders, Lani. It's, I just love the way you decide what the week's public health orders are. But actually, we're going to go with New South Wales Health, not Lani, this week. So welcome. Please make sure you've all checked in at the door. Thank you, Andrew. Andrew's our birthday boy this week. He's helped us check in and also set up all the tables. Welcome. Please feel free to have a seat. We don't need masks today. However, Kerry Ann is going to be our singer. We still are not permitted to sing together. So, but we have doubled our capacity, so there is slowly, we are beginning to be able to get together in new and exciting ways. I am now going to hand over to our sister Lani to give us our acknowledgement of country. Who's still halfway through a Tim Tam. Hello everyone at home too.
Hi everyone.
Yeah. All right.
Good morning all.
Morning.
Welcome to an overcast Sunday morning at the Wayside. And everyone out there, I hope you're staying safe and enjoy your stay at home, and thank you for being online and watching me. It's very great. I'd like to acknowledge the land on which we live, the land of the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation. I'd like to pay respect to the elders, past, present and future, and all emerging and everyone here today. And happy Valentine's Day to those people who have couples.
And the ones that don't.
And the ones that don't.
I'll cover those off later.
So back over to John and have a great service. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lani. I've committed this year to having, Chantel.
No?
Oh yeah, let's do it now. Chantel's decided we're going to do something and we're going to do it now, so we'll do it. All right. By the way, on Wednesday, Chantel would have been with us for 38 years. How amazing. Andrew Windsor, don't you dare run away. Come back here right now. All right.
Come on.
Let's go. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. You blow out candles like this now, right?
That's it. Yes.
Speak, mate, how long have you been?
I don't know how this is going to go 28 ways, but
They already have chocolate, that's yours only. Your chocolate, guys, that's it.
thanks everyone. All right, guys. Good.
Love you, mate.
What about me? Come on.
Oh, you've been told to give a speech, mate?
No, I don't get straight.
He's really grateful for the cake and he says thank
Oh
you.
yes, he's very grateful for the cake. Yeah. All right, wonderful. Where on earth was I?
Right here.
Oh yeah, this year I've committed to, we do a lot, we always open up with an acknowledgement of country and a prayer, which I'll say shortly, but I've committed to learning more about the land on which we are here now. So what I learned this week is the Eora Nation is comprises of 29 clans, of which the Gadigal one clan, which are thought to have numbered up to 4,000 when white settlement first arrived. And the borders of the Eora Nation, now hopefully I'll get this right, south is the Georges River, to the west is the Nepean River, and to the north is the Hawkesbury River. So these form the land on which the 29 clans operated and lived in relationship with each other and the land. And we're on the land that it gave us, the Eora Nation. So, good to know these things. I think the more we grow in knowledge, the more we'll grow in understanding, and the more we'll grow in relationship and love too. They're all paths to the same end, hopefully. So let's bow our heads in prayer. My eyes are not haughty, my heart is not proud. I do not concern myself with things too great and marvellous for me. Instead I have quieted and calmed my soul, like a weaned child that knows all is well when Mama is in view. Thank you for coming. I recently heard Welcome to Country by Uncle Alan Madden, who is one of the local elders here. And at the end of it, he not only acknowledged all the nation on which we stand and the Aboriginal people here who are present, but also he acknowledged everyone else in the room and made us reflect for a moment on the journeys which our families took to be here in this country today. And the risks they may have taken, the wars they may have fled, to make a new life in this country. And it's us, their descendants, who now live and honour their legacy. Some of us feel like we may be here in spite of them. But we're all here because of them too. And I thought that was a really beautiful way to tie two worlds together that so often feel so separate. So let's continue to live our lives out in ways that weave new connections and build a new Australia. One in which we can all live in peace and harmony and fairness and love. That's good. Hey Bronwyn, how are you? We have a few wonderful guests here. I just want to welcome our friend Anthony up the back. Hello Anthony, how are you? Give him a big welcome. And Anthony will tell you some fantastic stories, including, if you don't mind me saying this, he used to work on Hughes Street. How many years ago? 1972. Can anyone guess what his job was?
Tell!
Yes, Anthony. Oh, do you want me to say it? Yeah, so he used to, he was hired by, who used to work on the corner? Who was the most famous girl that worked on the corner here?
I think her name was Julie.
Julie. So Julie used to work where now is the chicken shop. And then Julie eventually hired Anthony just to stay in a little apartment upstairs behind a door with a baseball bat in case anything got out of control.
Very useful.
Yeah, so this is not his first time in Hughes Street. he's a dear friend of mine, and I'm really excited that he's here with us today. And also Susie, who used to volunteer here when?
In the early 80s. I come on Christmas Day.
Yeah, used to volunteer here in the early 80s, before it was trendy to be a Wayside volunteer. It was more grungy. So thank you and welcome. And welcome to you all. It's so wonderful to have you all here with us. Let's have our psalm. Who's reading our psalm for us? Joe? Come on. Hello. Oh, and Kylie Kwong says to say hello and send all her love to you all.
Okay, so it's Psalm 50, 1-6. The mighty one, God the Lord, speaks and summons the earth from the rising of the sun to when it sets. From Zion, perfect in beauty, God shines forth. Our God comes and will not be silent. A fire devours before him, and around him a tempest rages. He summons the heavens above and the earth, that he may judge his people. Gather to me these consecrated people who made a covenant with me by sacrifice. And the heavens proclaim righteousness, for he is a God of justice.
Thanks, Joe. Carrie Ann. Oh, it's good to have Emma with us.
Emily's here. Surprise guest.
To take us through some songs.
Okay, I think we'll start with Breathe on Me, Breath of God, which is such a beautiful prayer. So you might like to close your eyes and think about the words to this beautiful song. Beautiful hymn. Okay, so the next song is another oldie and a goodie. It's Show Me Your Way.
Silence. wanted them to have contemporary names. This is OMG and LOL.
I don't get the last one. That's the glasses.
Grandpa's in charge of these things now, so don't try and make any sense out of anything that's going on there.
It's his grandparents' room.
There we go. This is being set up for a bit of open sharing. We can do it as long as we all get up and we can have a chance to have a bit of a share in a minute. Just a few announcements. February 28th, Anu and Joe and Janet are helping put together a bit of an outing. A few of us are going to meet together, so that's 2 Sundays from now, and we're going to do a bit of a tour group through Cabramatta. So if you're interested, let me know. Between transport and then also we ask that you bring about $20, so we're going to go around to some shopping and some restaurants. We'll do more formal emails and announcements, but we want to do a little bit of our version of a church kind of trip, so which you're all welcome to. So let me know if you're interested.
So it's after church?
It will be after church, yes. So we'll as soon as we finish here, we usually finish around 11:45, 12. Probably just loiter and then head out. We'll see how many people are keen. We might be able to take one of the buses, or we will catch a train out to Cabramatta.
How many seats on the bus?
There are 12 seats on the bus. So, and if we get more, maybe I could get someone else. Andrew's got a bus licence too. Or Adam's got a bus licence too, so we might be able to do two of our buses. Yes.
I've got a bus licence as well.
Oh, there you go. Well, look at that. We're all flying with bus licences.
You get more than that, I've got a semi-trailer license.
You got a semi-trailer license, so you can all get up. I've got a B-doubles license. No. You can all get into the container at the back. So we'll have a booking sheet here next week if you're interested. If you need me to hold a bit of cash, I can do that too. That'll be cool. We'd love to have you along, and we'll go get to enjoy the sights and sounds of Cabramatta. And yeah, thank you. So Anu is following in the footsteps of her mum and putting this amazing buffet on. While this tour on, and we'll have a feast of the senses, but also another way for us to connect together as a community. I'm excited.
If you can't make it this time, we can do it other times as well. So,
Absolutely. This won't be. This is a trial run. So we'll give it a go. And a Wayside family trip, you know, what could go wrong?
Come just to see.
Yeah.
Yes, after the trial.
That's right. So watch out for Cabramatta in the news in 2 weeks' time. Talking about the news, I was supposed to be on ABC. I was up and showered by 6:30 this morning, and I got ditched for the Trump impeachment. I'm just waiting there, all pretty in the studio, waiting. Come on.
Oh no, you're actually there.
Yeah, well, anyway.
Oh, that's not on. I don't write complaints.
Oh, we're talking about international global politics, and I just wanted to talk about undies and Valentine. What could be more important? I think he's going to get away with it too, isn't he?
Of course he does.
Yeah,
Like the villains. No, we're not done yet though.
No, that's not the end of the story, but certainly it is. But anyway, let's get on with it. All right, I want you to take a moment and think about where in this last week or few weeks have you got a glimpse of glory? A glimpse of glory. Feel free to come up and speak into the microphone. And if you're new to us, let us know your name too. Yeah, come up. Oh, we got a little buddy.
I prefer to play on the piano, but that's okay.
Let us know your name and your
My name's Zachariah Kennard. I've been through hell the last few weeks. Everything was stolen off me. And I was supposed to move into a brand new unit, and the practice didn't pay the money on time, so they gave the unit to somebody else. And I was supposed to start a new job with a company car, and obviously I couldn't do that either. Checked into a hotel, they stole my MacBook Pro, my iPad, my iPhone, my wallet, they even stole my shoes.
Oh my God.
Anyhow, the last 2 days I've been so lucky. They made a new tag for my dogs.
Yeah.
He has the right number on there now. And I met a lady yesterday, and I told her my story, and she just gave me $300 cash.
Thank you.
But why was I? Yeah, that's it basically. So, you know, I've been through hell and high water, but there is hope out there.
Amen.
And there's good people out there. And if you just sort of embrace that and just think that there are good things to come, you know, even though you're so low, there are still good people out there.
Yes.
Look at that little tail.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, there's a dog. And I wasn't making any other references.
Valentine's Day.
Just to be clear for that, you again. There's a scattered energy about me today. Do you want to share something? Where have you caught a glimpse of glory, darling?
That's right, there are good people out there. Because I was riding home from my friend's place, can't remember what day it was, last week sometime. And I was just driving through slowly and looking really down. And this young boy comes running up behind me and goes, "Hey, lady, you dropped something." And I'm like, looked around like, my wheels are still on my scooter. So that's good. And he handed $5 to me. And I was like, oh well, okay. He goes, nah. I went, nah, this is not mine. He goes, yeah it is, it fell off your scooter. And I'm like, okay. So I went into McDonald's, got myself a feed. As I came out to go back home the same way, his parents, this group of people just stopped and handed me a pizza. A box of pizza. And I was like, he's gone, oh, this is yours. And I'm like, I'm really full. And now I'm going to eat a pizza? Oh no! So he's gone. So I sat there, had one piece, and I started crying because I couldn't believe the generosity of how kind people actually are out there, even though they're going through a real hard time themselves. They care about others. And yeah, it's just amazing there are kind people out there.
Thank you. It's amazing.
I got one.
Oh, who's this guy?
So I teach piano and guitar as one of my jobs, and I taught this kid, this 5-year-old the other day, and he's very cute young boy. And I went to his house, and when I opened the door, he looked really sad. He was like really anxious, and he's like, "Therese, I'm really sorry. I didn't do the homework that you said. I forgot to do it." And he looked like he was going to cry. And I was like, oh, it's all right. Like, I never get angry at them because, you know, like, it's the worst. Anyway, we went to the book and we opened it, and it was all there done. And he went, oh, I forgot that I didn't forget.
Gorgeous. Beautiful. Why couldn't this guy be my piano teacher? My one used to make me cry. She used to sit there with a ruler above my fingers. And then she'd whack me if I missed the Malaysian, mate. You know, no mucking around. Yeah, Mum said the harder you hit him, the better he learns. Different era. Thanks, Therese. Beautiful. I heard a friend of ours, Liz, who we've christened Juliet and Alexander, and she was telling a story about how Juliet's just started primary school. You might have heard of Juliet. Graham Long loves to tell stories about her. And she came back from her first day of school, and they said, "What did you learn?" She said, "I'll show you." And she took a folder and set it up in front of her 3-year-old brother and said, "Now that's your computer, and you're to sit here. Now I'm going to give you the lesson, and I'm going to give you homework. Are you going to sit still?" You know, just so gorgeous, 5 years old, so beautiful. Just makes you get lost for words. Who else has caught a glimpse of glory this week? We need them, my goodness. Big love to everyone out in Melbourne as you do a 5-day lockdown. You know, I know my sister's logging in. She's due any moment, any tick of the clock to have the final grandchild. I know my dad's holding against hope that the 11th one will finally be a grandson, but no way. It's going to be 11 girls in a row.
11.
I wish to see it. Yeah, what are the odds? Come on, buddy.
My glimpse of joy this week was firstly getting 40 pounds of undies from my church, which I then brought in by car and I dropped them off here because I didn't think I would negotiate them by train. Sorry, okay, so my glimpse of joy, I had quite a few because I think I found a secret that I look for joy and then you find it, and that's how it goes. So like I said, I got 40 pairs of undies from my congregation and there's still some more coming. So I said to them, it's an ongoing thing that we have to do. So I brought them in because it was a reason why I did that, because I wanted to try going out to Cabramatta and see how I did. And I got my way all the way there, except the last half of the street because I took the wrong turn. But I got there and I just wanted to that's how my mum did it. You go and scout out the place and just make sure you sort of know where you're going. So I went there and I forgot about the fact that you needed to have cash for everything. So I went to a couple of shops and all I had was really $16 in my account and I couldn't take it out on EFTPOS. But the people that I met, they remembered me and I remembered them, so they gave me my breakfast and my lunch. And then there was another lady that used to work for my mum, used to come all the way from Cabramatta. And I called her and then she met up with me and I told her what had happened. She then gave me $20 to go back and pay these people because she said somehow or other she owed my mum $20. So, you can find joy if you just are present to the fact that things can just happen. So I think more things happen, but I won't bore you with the rest of the details. Thank you.
How long ago did you owe $20? You got to adjust that.
It was really 10. May or April.
All right. Anyone else had a glimpse of glory? Kylie, come on.
I did. I was like, wait, what? I've had a fair bit. I got my braces. I had braces on for 9 months this year, and I got them off. And the surgery, the dental surgery, is near my parents' house, and my beautiful father sometimes is very tricky to be around. And so after I got my braces off, I was really excited and I thought, I would like to share this, go and share this with my father. But I thought when I was driving, but I don't always like seeing my father. Sometimes I come away and it's devastating. And so I thought, no, but while he's alive, I would like to try to share more moments of love and joy with him. So the whole way there, I was sort of having this conversation, even up the driveway, you've learned enough times not to go to your parents' house with the expectation of anything good. So anyway, I went and so my beautiful father grew through horrific abuse when he was growing up, and one of the things was also food. He had food withheld from him, so food is a big deal. So I went there and he came to the door and he was happy to see me. He invited me in. And then I left after sharing just a very brief conversation and a cuddle and a kiss. And then he said, I've made a fish pie. Would you like some fish pie? And so that's my father's way of saying I love you. So that was my glory. My father said that he loved me.
Bronwyn, are you getting up here? Yes, Bronwyn's just saying hello. Well, I think we could just share and share and share, and we probably should. Thank you so much, everyone. This is the time where we'll stand and say the Lord's Prayer together, and then we'll pass the peace by giving everyone a namaste where it's the end of it. All right. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Pass the peace to those around.
I'll talk about it.
I'm teaching a couple.
Good, Andrew's gone again. Matt's gone when the... Yes, don't joke. I've also got one for Desmond, but I can't do two. I can't circulate. And I've got one for Lisa, but it's finished.
All right. Michelle, you going to give us our gospel reading? Thanks, everyone.
Joe, just pass it round. Get it around. Just make sure it doesn't go to Andrew. That's okay.
A reading from Mark 9, verses 2 to 8. After 6 days, Jesus took Peter, James, and John with him and led them up a high mountain where they were all alone. There he was transfigured before them. His clothes became dazzling white, whiter than anyone in the world could bleach them. And there appeared before them Elijah and Moses, who were talking with Jesus. Peter said to Jesus, "Rabbi, it is good for us to be here. Let us put up 3 shelters, one for you, one for Moses, and one for Elijah." He did not know what to say. They were so frightened.
Thank you. Thank you. There's a lot going on there. A lot going on in that one. And thankfully, we're not going to get through all of it. But look, let's have a little word about Valentine's Day first. Okay. You know, I must confess, I still grew up in the era. I don't have to confess because I'm not looking young anymore. I feel quite old. I could tell you from primary school the kids that came from single parent families, there was less than 2 in our whole school, and from different kind of alternative families. So whenever we heard the word family, we automatically thought it meant a mum and a dad living in happiness, and we would all measure ourselves up against this kind of unrealistic ideal of what it meant. In fact, if you go down to Bondi, you'll hear Graham talking about the Wingspan, which is an amazing group that we've started helping kids who haven't had the best start in life get back into work and education and employment, and they are just the most inspirational bunch of kids. If you have a coffee at the Heart Cafe, there's a good chance the person serving you coffee might be one of those kids. And now we have half of the staff at the op shops. Some of those kids, as they get back into the world of employment. But you know, we say you might have a job for a little while, but you're going to be a part of a community for the rest of your life. And one of the projects that they've come up with off their own steam is they said, we want to write a children's book that lists all the different kinds of families that are out there, right? Because none of them grew up in what you call a standard family. And they said if we'd have only known that what we were going through was fairly common, perhaps we wouldn't have felt so bad about ourselves, saying, what's wrong with me? Unfortunately, when we say things about family, we assume, oh, well, because I'm not from Leave It to Beaver type of family kind of image, or then it's not quite right and I don't feel quite right. The same thing happens when we talk about love though, doesn't it? And Valentine's Day. We immediately assume it's about two couples having romantic love.
No, a couple.
A couple, sorry, two couples, 4 people, no. I know we're progressive, but we're not that progressive.
That's maths. 2 couples, 1 couple.
About 2 people in some sort of romantic love, and that kind of sells love short, doesn't it? And we talk about the feelings of love, but if there's one thing we learn here is that the actions of love precede the feelings of love. If we have something to love in our lives, then love will continue to grow. And I'm not just talking about someone, I'm talking about something. And since moving house, there's a big garden now. And when I first turned up, I went, oh no, this is my weekend's gone. But actually, I really love getting out into the garden. And I was really sad yesterday when it was pouring rain. You know, that was the time I set aside to weed and plant and prune. If we get involved in a relationship of nurture and care with something, our feelings of love will grow. We all need something or someone to love. We live in a society that just says, no, it's all about your feelings, baby. How do you make me feel? And is it any wonder we are the most despairing, desperate, anxious that we've ever been? Because we say, oh, look, and everyone else seems to have it around me. And we look at what we don't have instead of what we do have control of, which is to get involved. Buy a pot plant. Anything that we have to care for. Dogs are amazing. Even Graham would say he's not a cat person yet, but he loves those 2 little cats. Is it Aristotle and Plato he called them or something? What are their names?
Claude and Molly.
Claude and Molly.
Claude
Anyway.
as in C-L-A-W-E-D.
Oh, C-L-A-W-E-D. Claude. Look, I was going to do a whole bunch of corny Valentine's Day jokes, but I still might do one. Which is, did Adam and Eve ever ever have a date?
Oh, come on.
No, they hadn't happened. Sarah. All right. Sarah.
Can you tell me why it's Valentine's Day? The day is that saint. What, do you know?
Oh, there was there's conjecture that there's probably 3 people who were called St. Valentine's, and they were all martyred.
Yeah.
And one of the stories is that one of them healed the jailer's daughter of blindness while he was in jail, and then he wrote her a letter, and he wrote, "From your Valentine."
Oh, right.
So anyway, so I don't know.
Yeah.
But whatever the real story is, it's now become such a commercialised day where people are just forced to shoehorn themselves into this. The greatest Valentine's Day I ever had was at a pub called the Barleycorn in Collingwood, where I played No Woman, No Cry on the piano. And the whole pub just started singing. It was a fun day. Fun day. Anyway, where was I? Okay. Glimpses of glory. It's about remembering, right? My favourite story is of this little boy who was so excited because Mum was coming home with a newborn baby. And Grandma had been looking after him, and all of a sudden, this was the day his little brother was coming home, and he was so excited. Grandma had to keep hold of the back of his neck because he was running, and then the car pulled up, and they were waiting at their house, and the car pulled up, and there's his little brother, and he was running up, and they said, no, he's asleep. We'll put him in the cot. And they went into the house, and he was bursting, this 3-year-old, saying, please, can I see my little brother? And they said, and he was starting to cry because the baby was asleep, and they said, okay, if you promise to be quiet, we'll put you in the room and you can just see him, and you can whisper to him. And he said, okay, I'll take that deal. So they put the little newborn in the cot, and with the high sides, because if you've ever had more than one kid, you'll know that when they want one-on-one time, anything can happen. And they closed the door, but they immediately looked through the peephole and listened through the hole, and this 3-year-old looked over into the cot, and he looked at his little brother and he said, buddy, it's me, I'm your big brother. Welcome. We're going to have so much fun. And then he looked around to see no one was in the room. And he looked at his little brother and he said, quick, tell me where you came from. me where you came from because I'm beginning to forget. I'm beginning to forget. We're all created in the image of love. And unfortunately, life beats that out of us. Or we forget, or we lose that image. And it's tarnished because we look around us and we say, oh, but the TV tells me I need to be like this, I need to look like that, I need to have this in my life to be whole. When actually the wholeness was a gift that was given to you when God breathed your spirit of life and God's breath into you. You're already made in God. We need these glimpses of glory to keep us sustained for the journey ahead. They have this glimpse of glory in this passage and it's so beautiful, but of course they kind of miss the point, don't they? The disciples say, quick, let's build some tents right here. Let's work out a retreat centre on top of this mountain so we can keep this spiritual feeling going. I get it. It's a nice feeling, isn't it? But it kind of points us beyond. And we clip the reading off, but immediately afterwards, Jesus says, no, we're not meant to wait here. We're meant to get back. And they go back into the valley. There's someone who has a sick child, and Jesus heals that child. You know, when we talk about what did Jesus come here to do? He came to free us from that which is tearing us apart. And that's why Jesus is here, to free us from that which tears us apart. That sense of disconnection, that sense of isolation. He offers that relationship and that love into that space. And we learn that love through caring for something. What's something? We get that feeling, we catch that glimpse. I always mistrust any spiritual experience that makes you whiter. You know, I'd rather, when I have that ascension moment, I want to be as dark as anything, right? But that's why. That's what we're here for. You know, I remember, you know, wanting to build those retreat centres, right? I remember when the kids were young and they'd play and they were 3 and 4 and, you know, the first thing they do in the morning is give you a hug and then they'd, what are we doing today, Daddy? And you'd go and play and they'd be so cute as they'd play with each other and then the last thing at night is a hug. I remember those nights saying, I don't want this to ever end. But it ends. You know. Boy, get me some breakfast. I think that's the last thing I heard this morning. Stop being so loud as you move through the house. I was going to shower to get to the studio early this morning. Oh, well, those are those moments we like to capture. But they're the ones that we have to cherish and hold in our hearts. They're the glimpses of glory that keep us moving. And you know, as Martin Luther King said, he's been to the mountaintop. He's seen the promised land. And I'd love it if we could say that too. Is we've been to the mountaintop. We've seen the promised land, which is a glimpse of what we will get one day again, when we'll be reunited with all we have loved and lost on the other side. That's a hope that we all hold dearly in our hearts. And then Martin Luther King Jr. went on to say, you know, that I just want to serve God from here. Just want to do God's will. And we say that God is love. So we could say, we just want to love. We want to learn what it is to love. And ask the question that Anthony taught me to ask in every situation, in every scenario that comes up as you are with people. You ask yourself the question, what would love do in this situation? And that's the question and the challenge that I think resonates on all our hearts for this week. Let's not be sad Valentine's Day we don't have the perfect partner, or we're not the perfect partner, or we don't have that cool feeling. You know, I'm sure I didn't take Lisa's breath away this morning when I woke up at 5:30 in the morning and ran out of bed and accidentally elbowed her.
Oh, you might have taken her breath out, actually.
I may have taken her breath out of her by accident. Let's instead ask the question, what would love do? And that's all. It's as easy as that, and it's as hard as that. Let's all, yes?
Sure. Valentine's Day can also include your favourite pet.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I'd say, you know, get a dog. That's what I'm saying. Or if it's an axolotl that does it for you, you get an axolotl. Or a snake. Nurture, care. But dogs are pretty dangerous, aren't they?
Oh, they are.
Oh, they do.
That's lovely sometimes.
Yeah, our dog is an eternal optimist. Like, play with me at 2 in the morning. No. So, anyway, let's all stand and I'll pray a prayer of blessing and send you out. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you. May the Lord turn his face towards you and bring you peace. Amen.
Amen.
Thanks, everyone.
John.
Oh, we've got some birthday cards for Andrew,
and
Lisa, and Desmond.
Yeah.
All right, and the love of God hits you in the wallet. There's a bag for that. Yeah, we've got that up there.
Okay. Money's back.
I'm all over the shop, really. Apollo's kind of the hypomanic stage, which is kind of a bit elevated. Then I get really agitated today. What I haven't concluded the whole neighbour
Sorry, I just...
situation.